right. Hopefully everybody's having a good week so far. I guess after talking to Jamie, there are questions. So let's go over questions. Questions from chapter 5.
I thought I wrote it down. Someone had a question about something, and I thought I wrote it down. I don't remember if
Okay.
it was Sandy or Arlene had it. Anyone remember?
A week seems so long ago to me.
I know.
It is.
Sorry. I'm
Oh, if it comes
sorry.
back up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you remember the question, let me know and you can interrupt. If not, we're just going to move on to chapter 6.
Oy.
So
Well,
now,
before you start, Lymor, I don't think
Yeah.
did we finish? I don't think we ever actually finished chapter 5.
No,
we
left off on
do we
page.
have just that last page 39, I think, right?
no, I think we stopped like at 37 on that
Oh, all right.
number.
Well, then
five.
let's do some review on page 38 of chapter 5. Good. Okay. Rewrite the sentences. We're not writing. Changing the singular forms to plural. Remember that the adjective agrees with the noun and translate. Okay. So Jamie, replace and make it plural. And then Sherry, you'll translate for us.
So Zeh Ha'am Harav. It would be it's not Zot? Is Zot plural?
Ayla.
Ayla Ha'amim Haravim.
Harabim. Yep.
Rabim.
Sherry, what does that mean?
These are the abundant people or the abundant nation. Many.
Yeah, these are the many names. Okay. Harriet, the Hebrew, making it plural on number 2, and Diane, you're going to translate.
Number 2, Abain, Gadol, Habain,
We'll make that plural. What's the plural?
Habanim, Habani, Gadolim.
Yes. What does that mean, Diane?
That means, let's see, the dole is that, I put large, I was thinking large, but is that great? The great son?
Yeah, it could mean large, but in this instance, it means great.
Yeah, the great son and the great sons? Or is it, well, wait a minute, it's got a period. So is it the sons are great?
Yes. Because it's a full sentence. Okay. Deborah, I'm going to have you do the Hebrew, making it plural on number 3. And Nancy, I'm going to have you translate.
Okay.
Okay.
HaShabbat, Baruch Ha. So I'm supposed to make it plural.
Correct.
HaShabbatot, Baruch Ha.
Through chot.
Oh, Chot.
Right.
Okay.
You have to pluralize the adjective as well.
Oh, okay. I wasn't here for 2 weeks. I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. It's hard to get back into the groove. Nancy, translate that for us.
Shabbat is holy, and Shabbats, I don't know how you Shabbatot, are holy.
The Sabbath are holy.
Oh, the Sabbaths are holy.
They're blessed. I think
Are blessed, I mean, right.
All right. Sandy, you're gonna do one Sandy today. Okay, good. Sandy, you're gonna do number 4 in the Hebrew and making it plural, and Arlene, you're going to do the English translation.
Me Hamelech Hagadol, and me Hamlekim Hagadolim.
Yes.
Hagadolim.
Agdolim. Yeah, it's hard. Arlene, translate that to English.
Who are the great kings?
Yes. Okay. Sherry, I'm going to have you do the English for number 5, and Jamie, I'm sorry, Sherry, I'm going to have you do the Hebrew, making it plural, and Jamie, you're going to do
Zedavar Kadosh, Ela Devarim Kadoshim.
yeah,
These are the holy words.
yeah. Okay. Diane, I'm going to have you do number 6 for the plural, and Harriet, I'm going to have you translate.
Ha'ahu melech gadol. Let's see. Havot hein melechim gadolim.
Yes.
Wow.
The fathers, are great kings.
Yes. Perfect. All right. Nancy, I'm going to have you do the plural on number 7, and Deborah, I'm going to have you be the translator.
Ata
At,
bat tovi. Ata batim tovi? No, bat
Nope.
would be
so
batot.
first of all, the Hebrew as it is at bat tova.
Right.
Right? At means female, bat,
Right.
daughter, tova. Okay. Now, what is the plural of at?
Ata
Aten.
aten. What is it in? Say it again.
Aten.
Aten.
Final nun at the end.
Okay.
Right? Was it
Aten.
male? If it was male, it would be atem.
Oh, that's
with
a good way to
m,
remember. Okay.
Right? But with the female, it's aten. Women. Right?
Okay.
If you go to the
Okay.
bathroom, men with an N, with a starting with an M, and women with an N. That's how I remember it.
Thank you. Aten batot tovot
Banot,
banot.
right?
Oh, okay.
Because it's Ben, okay, son and daughter, Ben and Bat,
Right. And
and
at
Banim and Banot.
right.
A note, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Aten,
Oh, am I saying it again?
yeah, the whole thing.
Right. Aten banot tovot.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Deborah.
Okay, let's do this. You are the good daughters.
Yeah, just you are good daughters.
Oh,
Not
that's
me.
right. There's no
Ah,
that.
there, right? So, yeah.
Yes. You are
Okay.
good
Lymor,
daughters.
if it was going to say you are the good daughters, would it just be Hatova?
It would probably be Aten Habanot Tovot.
Habanot Tovot, not with another hey.
Correct. It could also be, let me just think, Aten Banot Hatovot. It could also be Aten Banot Hatovot.
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah,
Okay,
so probably more proper that second.
that's what I thought. Okay.
Arlene, I'm gonna have you do the plural on number 8, and Sandy, I'm gonna have you translate to English.
I'm not sure. Anaknu. Aimnot. Kada.
Imahot,
Imahot. Anaknu
right?
imahot. Could dosh shot.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Sandy, English.
Okay. We are holy mothers.
We are holy mothers. Okay.
Repeat that again in Hebrew, please.
In plural.
Anachnu imahot kadoshot.
Kadoshi.
Kadoshot. Right?
Oh,
Okay. Now we're going to go singular, plural to singular. Okay. All right. Jamie, Hebrew. Sherry, English, number 1.
Habanim, Baruchim, Habain, Baruch, Barucha, Baruch,
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 just Baruch.
Habain, Baruch.
The,
Okay.
the blessed son,
Uh,
the
because
son
of-
is blessed.
yes, because there's a
Son is
period there.
blessed.
It's good. Good, good, good. Okay. Harriet, Hebrew. Diane, English for number 2.
Habanot Tovot. Let's see. Bat Tova.
Habat Tova. Don't forget the ha.
Ooh, I forgot the huh.
Go ahead, Diane.
The
Uh-huh.
the daughters are good. The daughter is good.
Yes. Okay. Deborah, number 3. Deborah, Hebrew. Nancy, English.
Hashabatot, Kiddoshot. Hashabat Kadosh.
Great. Nancy?
The Sabbaths are holy and Shabbat is holy.
Yep.
Question.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was Kodesh Shaw because the Sabbath is female. It's just Kadosh.
Kadosha. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is.
Good catch.
All right. Next week, Diane teaches. All right. Sandy, Hebrew, and Arlene, English for number
4. Haim, Amim, Birachim. The Hu, Baruch.
Yes.
He is the blessed people. I'm confused on.
So who, the word who
he-
here,
Yeah.
even though the word who does mean he, in this case, because you're talking about the in Hebrew, in English, we're going to say it's the nation, because we don't
Oh,
say
yeah.
he is a blessed nation, right?
Right.
We don't use he and she for inanimate objects like Hebrew does. So for us, it's going to be, this is a blessed nation. Or
This
is a blessed people.
this is the blessed people.
right, this is a, these are this is a blessed people, or
Mhm.
it's a blessed people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, back up to number 5. Sherry, you'll do the Hebrew. Jamie, you'll do the English.
Where are I? Atem ha'avot hatovim. At, ata ha'av hatova.
Tov,
Okay, yeah, okay.
right?
Yep.
Av is,
Feminine, masculine.
yep. Okay, Jamie, English.
You are the good fathers, you are the good father.
Yes. Okay. Diane, Hebrew. Harriet, English for number 6.
Anachnu melachim gadolim. Ani melech gadol.
Yeah.
They are good kings.
We,
We are good kings. And then I am a great king.
yeah. Okay. Nancy, Hebrew, number 7. Nancy, Hebrew. Deborah, English.
Okay. Ela hadvarim hatovim. I don't know what the singular of Ela is. In fact, I don't know what. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
here's my little card right here.
Oh, you have a
These.
card.
Yes, I was just practicing. So
Oh.
these, so it would be the instead of these.
It would be ze.
Ze, right. Ze hadvar hatov.
Perfect. Okay.
These- sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Deborah.
No, I go ahead and translate.
These are the good words or things,
Yeah.
and this is the good word or thing.
Yeah. Okay. Our number 8, Arlene, Hebrew, and Sandy, English.
Haratzot hang the ruhot ha eretz hu baruch.
Okay, so haaretz tot, because it's taf, that's a female.
Female,
So
so
haaretz,
barucha, barucha,
yeah,
baruch-
haaretz he, not who. Haaretz he,
he
bracha.
brach. Is it barucha or
Bra,
Bra.
yeah, bru. Yes, sorry.
barucha? So ha eretz he barucha.
You got it.
Mhm.
All right, Sam.
Okay, the lands are blessed and the land is blessed.
Yes. Okay. All right. Questions. Let's move on to section 7 or whatever this is. For the following sentences, an adjective is given in the parentheses. Fill in the blank with the correct form of the adjective and adding in a where necessary. And then translate. All right. So I think we're going to go and everybody will change it up. You'll put it in and you'll translate. So Jamie, start us off on number 1.
At bat gadola. You are a great daughter.
Yep. Sherry, number 2.
Zot HaTorah Kadosha. This is the Holy Torah.
Yep. And this is where you would use both of them being hey. HaTorah, HaKdosha. And I think it's because it's a thing, it's like an inanimate object, right? That you're using another ha. So Zot HaTorah HaKdosha, because there only is one Torah, right? So this is the Torah. This is the blessed Torah, right?
Good.
Or the Torah. Okay. Harriet, number 3.
Okay. Baruch, Barucha, no. Baruch, Habanim, Hatovim.
So what do we need to do to the word Baruch to make it plural? Habanim, plural and male. Habanim, Hatovim.
Baruchot,
Bruchim.
Bruchim,
Bruchim, Habanim, Hatovim.
Habanim, Hatovim.
Which means
The sons, the good sons are blessed.
yes. Okay. Diane, number 4.
Ashalom. And I thought it was Rabah, but I crossed that out and I put Rav.
Yes. That's right.
Ashalom Rav. The peace is abundant.
Perfect. And Deborah, number 5.
Hashabat the Sabbath is blessed. This one always gets me. Baruch ha. Is that right?
Shabbat hi brucha.
Sabbath is blessed.
Yep. Perfect. Nancy, number 6.
Aim, Amim, Kadoshim. They are blessed. Wait, what's Amim? The boys? No. Men? No, I don't know. Is wait. Is land. Is that right?
A nation or a people.
Right. A nation or
And
people are blessed.
Kadosh is holy, not blessed.
Right.
Bruchim
Oh,
is blessed.
All right.
Kadoshim is holy.
Holy. Okay.
So these are holy. They are holy nations. Okay, Sandy, number 7.
Moshe, the Avraham, Haim, Malakim, Tovim. Moses and Abraham are good kings.
Okay. Arlene, number 8.
Yisrael, he, Eretz, Tova. Israel is a good land.
Yes. And
Wouldn't it?
yeah.
Wouldn't it be HaTorah? Because Israel is one, like Torah. It wouldn't be HaTorah.
I guess it could be.
Because it's similar to where Israel
And it
is
would be
like the
Israel.
Torah. It's one specific.
Right. So it would be Israel, he, ha'eretz, ha'tovah. It would be both hates. But I'll tell you the answer he doesn't say.
No.
Yeah, what does it say?
Israel, he eretz tovah.
Yeah, and what about, because it would be for the.
What does it say? What did it say? It said
Yeah. Because the
Yisrael
preceding one would have had that too then.
Wow.
Hmm.
Eretz Tova or Ha'eretz, you said? Which one?
Nope, it doesn't say that. I would think it would be Yisrael he ha'eretz ha'tova. But it just says Yisrael he eretz tova in the answer key. So I'm writing that down to figure that out.
Because
Find out.
wouldn't it change for the preceding one too, for number 7 then? Moshe and they're one people? Moshe and
Right.
Abraham?
They are the only
Oh.
ones.
Yeah, they're
But
the only
those are-
ones.
Those are those are names, so that's different than saying, let's say, the Torah or Israel. And maybe because Israel's the name of a country, maybe that's why not. Because I would see that, are we if we're talking about, Moshe, like Moshe Rabbeinu and Avraham, our forefather, maybe that would be true, but I think these are just random Moshe and Avrahams, right?
Oh, I thought they were the specific ones.
I don't think
Sounds
so. 'Cause
like-
they weren't actually kings. So,
Okay, okay.
right? They weren't kings.
But they're using it as an example. But I guess the difference, Israel here is the subject, and this in number 2, the subject, even though it's kind of Torah, it's really this.
Correct.
So maybe
So
because it's
that's
this and we're
it.
talking about the Torah, if we were talking about Israel, then it would be Ha. Maybe, if it was the other way around.
Right. Okay. I will find out.
Okay, so wait, on number 8 is the tova, which is not what it says in the parentheses. Is that an adjective for Eretz because Eretz is female?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, Harriet, why don't you do number 9?
Okay, number 9. Harazot Gadolot
Mm-hmm.
Ain Tovot.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. The land is great.
Yep.
The land, the great lands are good.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I will figure out number 2 and number 8, figure out, I'll get back to everybody on that.
When I,
Okay. Yeah.
Lymor, remember I said last week, 2 weeks ago, I guess, I would speak to Anne about, we were trying to
Yeah.
figure out when to use the extra pronoun. I think the
Yes.
answer when I asked her, either way was okay in modern Hebrew, because she speaks Hebrew fluently,
Right.
and she said either way was okay.
Right. And that's what I think with some of these are either way is okay too. Like I would
That's what
be
it
okay,
seems like.
but again, there's obviously some grammatical reason they want you to learn it this way. Or maybe this book just gives you one answer as opposed to like the multiple that could be. I'm not sure. Okay, so at the end of the chapter, they always try to bring in something from the prayer book to remind you what you learned. So this one says, Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. So I guess because we are, what was this chapter? Was pronouns, right? Adjectives. Okay. Oh, gotcha. So they're saying, this has nothing to do with adjectives, but that's okay. They're showing you the our God, right? Echad Eloheinu, right? Remember when I said the new on the back, Anachnu, right? Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Shemo is a possessive, right?
So the no at the end is makes it our.
The new at the end makes it our, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And then at the bottom from the Kedusha, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsevaot. And that is of, they're showing you of host.
What is-
So
What does
not
a host
exactly
mean?
sure. Right, what is a host? It's a good question. Not exactly sure how that relates to what we learned in this chapter.
Just kadosh as vocabulary.
Right. So hold on.
Does it have to
because
do with the plural on it? Kadosh, 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 three holies,
Right.
and then
Three of them,
Avaot. Is
so
that
it's
what
plural.
it's teaching us? That's what it's
I think
teaching?
it's teaching you the plural of that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it seems a little far-fetched to, it's a stretch.
Three holies and then a plural.
That's not why it's plural. It's saying the Lord of hosts.
Plural.
Host is the plural word.
But I don't understand what they mean by host.
Where is the host in that?
The
Right, but
last word.
why would
There's no-
hosts be plural? The hosts is plural because you're talking about holy three times.
Three times, right?
Right, that's why it is. Otherwise, it would be Kadosh Adonai Seva, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, it's a bad example. It's a stretch.
And
There's
also
stretch.
in the previous one is an example of where you can translate it two different ways. That
Right.
it's not a hard and fast. Either way is okay.
Right.
One is our God is one. Great. It's
I mean, these are good examples of what's in the Siddur, but I don't think it's good examples of what we just learned. Like I said, it's a stretch, so don't waste too much time on it.
I think the bottom line though is when you're looking at it, as long as you're getting the gist of the meaning, you
Well,
know.
that's it. Again, and I said this when I taught the other classes, it depends on what you want to get out of this. Are you looking to be, a Hebrew writer? No. And if you are, then this is the wrong class because I'm not a writer. I can't teach you that. We're looking to make sure that when we read the Siddur, that we can understand what it is, right? And so, and if you're going to go on to read Torah, it's always good to know what you're reading so that you can,
Right.
put those things together.
So, Avot, the last word, isn't that fathers? I'm confused on that. It's
No,
hosts.
it's
I'm mixed up on that.
it's
Seva.
Seva,
What's that?
right?
Seva.
Sevaot. It's a study.
Oh, okay. All right.
Out.
I'm glad I asked. Okay.
No, it's not.
All right. All right.
The other when we study in the Friday class that I do with Anne, she says this over and over, especially about the Torah. Every translation is an interpretation. Because when you look at different translations of the Torah, they are not the same. And when you read the exact words, what it says on the page, we use Eitz Chaim, is not a literal translation of the Hebrew. It's the Pesha, it's the gist of what it says many times.
That's the idea of learning these words for yourself. So you know the difference when something's holy or is something blessed. Because that might mean the same thing to someone, but that might not mean the same thing to you. And so you want to know, there's a phrase in the Torah when Moshe comes down from the mountain and before he sees the golden calf, it says that his skin is glowing. And some people translate it as his face was smiling, right? There's nothing about a smile in there. It says literally his skin is the skin of his face is glowing. And so, there's all different kinds of commentary on, that he saw God. So he got the shine of God on his face. Or was it because he was so happy he was bringing down the 10 Commandments? Or, what was it that, so those are the types of things that if you know what those words are, then you can come up with what your interpretation is, and maybe you could come up with your own midrash for, for what's going on. Now, that's one of the most perfect examples. And whenever I have to do a Dvar Torah on that parsha, I always bring that up and ask people, what do you think? Right? So here's the literal translation. Here's this Chumash's translation, this Chumash's translation. Which one do you like best, and why? Right? So that's another reason for taking this class, is so that you can understand what's in the Torah, and you can actually have a discussion on what you think the interpretation is, because whatever your rabbi says or whoever's giving the Dvar Torah might not be what you would interpret it to be. And it's always nice to hear other people's interpretations, and that's why we do Torah study in what we call chavruta, right? We do it together, whether that's in a pair or in a group, because somebody always has something else to bring in that makes you think. And that's, again, we read the Torah every year. And so I'm entering my, I'm on my 54th trip around the sun. So, what have I had? 45 years of really being able to read the Torah over and over and over again. And you learn a lot every time. So, but anyway, okay.
But Lenore,
Yes.
it's one of the reasons why, for several years I've been after Women's League, to do a class with vocabulary and all these things, because the more you do learn some of these words yourself, you realize how off the translations are. And then when you try to learn the words by looking at the English,
Right.
it's off enough that you have to learn the vocabulary. You can't learn it because they translate all these words differently all the time, even in the same book.
Right. Well, here's the problem, that, as far as like creating a class, and we've talked about this. I mean, I've been teaching since the pandemic, so 5 years. Do we do a class of vocabulary so that when you go to Israel, you can ask, where's the restroom and how much this is? And, can I, does that have nuts in it? And is that spicy? And, that sort of thing. Or do you teach a class so that we can root it in, studying the language, so we can interpret the Siddur and we can interpret the Torah? And it's always been that, dichotomy.
So there are
And,
two different classes then, Lenore, right? Two different classes,
Well,
right?
there could be more than one class that does
Right.
this sort of.
Yeah.
We're the only class that's doing something.
I meant
Yes.
to do there's two different purposes. So there would be two different.
Purposes,
Yeah.
right? And so we would be learning different words, right? We wouldn't be learning, here are the new words: house, kindness, today, what, kingdom, universe, name. I don't know that we'd be learning those words, right?
Not necessarily for conversational Hebrew.
Right. Conversational Hebrew is much different.
Yes.
This class was born out of Marcy and Jamie and Judy saying, we want more. And I found this book, and what do you think of it? And I bought the book, and I flipped through it and said, we could try it. Let's try it. That's how this class was born, right? It was kind of like any Women's League program or sisterhood program, right? I think I want to do this. Great, go ahead. What do you want to do? Let's do it.
It's interesting. I took the Hebrew too, but I took this because the other class that I take, which would be an interesting class for Women's League to give as well, it's a different focus. We study in the context of Torah. We use the Parsha each week, and what Anne does is she picks a root word, a shoresh, and she explores. She has, I forgot the name of it. She's got a book that lists all the different pages that or the parshiot that it appears in. There's a specific concordance. So she has a book where she'll look up the shoresh, and then we look at it in the context of the parsha of the week, but we also look at it in the context where it appears in other books of the Torah.
Right.
And so we've been doing this for a long time and we do it weekly. And so over time, we've learned a huge vocabulary. So we're not learning grammar so much as we are learning common words that appear in the Torah over and over and over, and the different ways that they can be interpreted when you look at them in the context of a verse. So it's kind of another thing that I was just thinking about it as we we're talking about it, that
If
that
she
would be
willing
another
to teach
interesting.
that, if she would be willing to teach that for Women's League, I think that would be a great
Who,
class.
who is teaching? You're not doing that with Women's
It's
League.
from my synagogue,
Oh,
our,
okay.
our
Okay.
sisterhood.
Okay, because you're referring to
What-
an
what-
Anne. I don't know.
what
Ann Health,
synagogue?
well, a lot of people know her. Ann Helfgott Kessler,
And what
but-
synagogue are you at, Sherry?
North Shore Jewish Center, Port Jeff Station.
Oh,
Ann
Port
is a
Jefferson?
graduate. She's a graduate of the seminary. So
Oh.
I mean, she is beyond learned. She is our scholar in residence every day of every week. And
That's
and the
great.
rabbi defers to her when he's not sure of a question. So, and she's a wonderful teacher. She's very patient, and we've been doing this for a lot of years, but it just occurred to me as we're doing this, that's another, like, I'm doing it to supplement what I'm doing with Ann this class. So the reverse could be also.
No, it would be a very interesting class, and I'd love to explore that, and you know, if she's willing to teach
Oh,
it for
she'll kill
women.
me. I already got her on the BQLI board, and she's killing me for that. And she's mad because I won't read Torah. She's been trying to get me to read for
But
years. I read for my bat mitzvah, but she wants me to read, and
You should.
I have
Because
not
you lose
committed
the
to it.
skill. You lose the skill if you don't do it.
Right.
But
That's
anyway,
next Shabbat I'm reading Torah. I have it
and
on
I
my
just
desk.
volunteered her to do. She complained that her position on the region, she's arts and culture. We wanted her to be our I forgot now. And not educate, a ritual person, but somehow they ended up, because she is an artist also. She does ketubas and a lot of others. She's very talented. Anyway,
Great.
yeah, it's,
Awesome.
we'll get back to this.
Speaking
So
of
let's
going back to Echad Eloheinu.
Mhm.
So I get one and our God, adding the new on the end. But what is if it wasn't our, if you just said one God? Am I just spacing here? What would it be?
Well, so God has many words, right? We have many words for God.
Right.
It could be Eloheinu, our God.
But if it's not our, if it's not possessive,
Adonai, it could be Adonai. It could be
Elohim.
So Eloheinu, Elohim is right. Elohim, right?
is masculine plural.
Plural.
Elohim. Yes. But there is no singular.
Okay, that's my
Right.
question.
That's what
So
I
again,
thought.
God is not a singular or a plural. God is masculine only because, you know, men created it.
But it should be in
You know,
this.
I
It
don't
should
think, I
be.
don't think that God I don't think God has a gender, right? I fully, you know, in my egalitarian mind, God does not have a gender, but because, you know, men created these prayers, then
Right.
it
Isn't
God.
El also
Yeah,
a
L.
name for God? That's a name for God
Yes.
also.
Right? El Shaddai, right? We have Adonai, we have a lot of different.
But they're not, none of them are singular versus masculine. Like Eloheinu is obviously
Right.
um,
If you were to
plural.
take, let's say, Adonai, you couldn't make it like Eloheinu is the only one you could use for out, right? Like,
Okay. Okay.
Adonenu, we say.
Which is
right,
what the next one
Adonenu
is,
is-
Gadol
it's-
Adonenu.
I
but they
never
say
heard
We
people.
say
Adonai.
Adonenu.
I never heard Adonenu in a
Mhm,
prayer
yeah.
book.
Oh,
Yes,
sure you do.
Adonenu?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd
They
like to
sing
see
it
Absolutely.
right after they walk around with the Torah.
Eloheinu, Gadol
Gadol Adonenu.
Ado Shemo.
Mhm.
So yes, we do have Adonai,
Which is also our.
which is
Right.
our. So
Which is
there
why I
is
was
a-
asking
is
about
a- right,
the non-possessive singular, what it would be.
right.
Isn't it?
The non-possessive singular of Eloheinu
Yes.
would be
Yeah.
Elohim.
Elohim.
But right, so there's Elohei Yaakov, right? I don't know. When I'm at shul on Shabbat, I'll pay attention to the
Google.
sequence, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. I would say Elohai, maybe, because Elohei is possessive,
Right.
but
Mm.
Elohai, but I don't know if that appears in the Siddur. So, okay.
Elohi.
Yeah.
The non-possessive singular form of God in Hebrew is El, like we said.
Oh,
Or
Right.
Eloha. Well, Elohim is commonly translated as God. It's understood as a singular term. El is more direct singular. Eloha is another form used in some contexts.
Thank you.
There we go. Diane, did you have a question?
I did, but what page is Arlene on?
She's not. She Googled it, or she's got another resource.
My question was, how would you say, and I probably know the answer to this, but I'm getting a headache. There is one God.
Yeah, there is one God. So I'm also thinking, why is it not in the singular? It's in the plural because of the one God. That keeps on going through my mind. Why is God only in the plural? I don't
Again, I
know.
think that because
Yeah, I
God is
agree
not,
with what you're
God is
saying.
not a person, right? We don't make images of God because we don't think of God as a being. We think of
So he's
God
collective. It's collective.
as a spirit, right? Yes.
So-
Collective.
Again, Google again says this
What is
saying is there is one God. Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad is translated as there is one God.
But we know that's not true.
Right.
Shema Yisrael, Hero Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, God is our,
God.
God is our God. Adonai Echad.
Oh, here's
God.
another one. Wait, here's another one. Yesh El Echad.
Right, there is one God. Yesh El Echad. That probably would be the most, right? But again, then if I don't say Eloheinu, right? And what I'm saying is there's a God out there. There's only one of them, right? That leads me to believe that I don't believe in that God, right? Because then he's not my God, right? So it's very third person, right? Of that, of the person saying that, which is fine if that's how they want to talk. That's not really how we talk, right? So anyway, let's go over the vocabulary and then we'll start chapter 6 next week. Here's a question for you, and I'm going to pose it in an email for you guys to respond. But how do we feel about continuing throughout the summer? And every once in a while, if we've got too many people that are on vacation or whatever, we'll just do a review session as opposed to new material.
I couldn't hear the whole thing. It's cutting in and out.
Sorry. How do we feel about continuing throughout the summer at the same time? And if we have a bunch of people on vacation, we'll just do a review session.
I don't mind continuing. I just know that we go out a lot at night during the summer.
Yeah.
We go to concerts all summer, 3 or 4 times a week at night.
Right,
So I would continue as much as I could,
right. Okay.
and I
Well,
can do
mean,
it in
you'll
the
still have
car
the
sometimes.
recordings. You'll still have the recordings, and believe you me, if you need me, email me and say, this lesson was over my head. We'll find a time to get together and go over stuff just privately. Or if 2 or 3 people have an issue, we'll get them together at a different time.
Yeah.
That's good for everyone.
I think it's a good idea, because the issue, I don't know how, I know people won't be coming in and out, myself included. But the issue is, if you let it go, when we come back in the fall, it's going to be
Starting
like,
over.
we're going to need to start again on page
Right.
1, because I could
Right.
see what happens when I go from week to week, and I'm thinking, right when we begin, my mind is, what is that word? And that will happen if we let it go too long. If we let it go, I maybe maybe
That's
a
my-
solution would be every other week, but I don't know. I'm willing to do whatever the whole class
I think
decides.
that-
It's more up to you, Lymor.
If
Yeah.
we have,
It's a big commitment for you.
yeah, but I'm just telling my, one of my consultants, he's like, when are you on vacation? I don't really have many plans for vacation. I have a couple of things. And then when we get into the fall, it's the holidays. So really,
Right.
if we
Yeah, so that's what happens. We'll forget
3
it.
or 4 more classes, we wouldn't really pick this up until October because of
Then
all
you
the.
have the wedding. But then you have the wedding, so you
the
will
wedding,
be.
right,
And
and
the
all of that.
recordings,
So-
the recordings really are very helpful. The weeks that
are.
I haven't come, I have listened to every recording and gone through it as if it was a class, doing all the exercises. And I was away this weekend and I took the book with me, and there was some downtime, and I spent a good hour or so or more going over some of the exercises from chapter 5. And I'm still having trouble remembering when to use the hay, when not to use the hay. But we have the book, and the answers are in the back. So if we're not sure, we can look, and the
Right.
recording is there. So even if we can't make the class, it's there.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we're not
But
gonna.
I'll also move to the West Coast where it starts at 3:30. Then you could go out for your concerts at night.
Oh, but then I'm at the pool. The summer, I don't stay in very much.
Okay.
So, okay, good. So we'll continue, and then, we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. All right. So next week's the 15th. And I think we're good.
Anymore. Unfortunately, just an FYI, I have to miss that class too.
Okay.
Can't be helped.
It is what it is.
Well, I'll watch the recording.
And
Especially because you're going to start new material.
Right.
Okay. Where are we starting next week?
Chapter 6.
Okay.
So just learn the new words and do some review if you need. And we'll start up on chapter 6 next week.
That's it.
Great. Thank you.
Oh,
Great
yeah,
weekend.
thank you so much. When
Thank
is this
you.
wedding? What's this wedding? Who's getting married?
My daughter's getting married in October,
Oh, how exciting.
That's wonderful.
right after the Jewish holidays.
Very
So,
nice.
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
My anniversary is October the 14th. It's a beautiful month to get married.
That's my sister's anniversary. And I was in
So-
a wedding on that day.
Here's the story behind October 16th. When I was getting married, when my husband and I picked the venue and the date of that when we were getting married, it happened to be the Saturday night after all the holidays. My husband said, I think we have something. I think we have something. And I said, it was paper invitations at the time that were all over the place. And I was looking in my calendar. He was in his date calendar. We were looking at all the invitations on the refrigerator. There's nothing on it. There's nothing. He's like, that's an important day. I can't remember why. So I called up my mother-in-law. And so then we called my mother. She was very happy. He said, let's call my mother. You tell her. She's going to be so happy. I called and I said, Mom, we figured out, we got a venue. We're going to get married here and we're going to get married on October 16th. And she said, oh, that's our anniversary.
Jeez.
So my
The same
daughter,
anniversary. Yeah.
so my daughter wants it to be the third generation getting
Oh.
married.
Oh, wow. And is it a
That's
Saturday
why-
night or what night is it? What's
It's
the
a
16th?
Thursday night.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Ah,
right. But it's the 16th.
It's the 16th. It's a Thursday night, and the rest of the weekend we're going to be spending at this overnight. So she's getting married at this overnight camp, and then we're spending the rest of the weekend.
Oh, how exciting. That's so
Great.
different.
It's going to be fun in Wisconsin, right outside Milwaukee.
Oh,
nobody
how
knows. Oh, wow.
beautiful. Yeah.
Although my husband's family's from Chicago, so they won't have a long commute, but the rest of us are all flying from there.
Why Milwaukee? How did you choose Milwaukee?
She wanted a camp that was ADA compliant for some people that have mobility issues. And she wanted to have a camp that had hotel style accommodations so that we're not sleeping in a cabin. Right? So that's how we came up with this. My husband has been there. I have a friend who was at a wedding there. So
Wow.
that and come to find out that the woman that runs she's like the catering director there. I was her Hebrew school teacher when she was in 3rd grade.
oh, wow,
It's for sure.
Small world.
wow.
So exactly. So
My
gonna be great.
my college roommate got married on December 23rd, and two of her daughters got married on December 23rd. So when the one son who didn't get married on that date went onto Facebook one day and he said, well, it's very easy to wish everybody in my family happy anniversary.
Right.
That's right. So she'll never forget our anniversary, I guess.
Right.
And we'll never forget hers.
Right.
So we'll be good. All right, everyone, have a great week. Shabbat shalom. And I will
Happy
Shabbat
Mother's
shalom.
Day.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
Oh,
you.
happy Mother's Day, everyone. Yeah,
Yes.
enjoy.
Oh,
Yeah.
happy Mother's
All
Day.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you next